Yeah, can you see my screen?
Yes, I can.
All right, thank you. Okay, so good morning. My name is Laura Sophias. I'm a UI UX designer from design team here in Bincom Dev Center. So today I'll be discussing user-centered thinking, then bridging users and interface. Um, I know we are all familiar with this word, user-centered design, but maybe you may not really understand what it means. So I'll just be explaining what it is and what we can do with users and also um, interface also together, things that we need to do. So this is what I'll be discussing. Uh, okay, so what I'll start with the introduction. Why user-centered thinking matters. Key principles of user-centered thinking, empathy for users, the intuitive navigation, consistency in design, accessibility and inclusivity, feedback and iteration, bridging users and interface, the process. So our topics, this one, just about that. They also use real world example, then conclusion, and there's question. So let's start with this introduction. So we all know that as a UI designer, we design, but most times we design for the way it looks, the visual appealing. But it is not only that. It's not only that. We have to put some things into consideration. With my user be able to navigate easily through the interface? Is the interface not frustrating? When they want to make an action, are they able to do it on time? So all these things are what really matters. And how you can get to this stage is maybe when you do some research and the like. So we'll still come to that. So now in today's digital world, designing interface is not just about the way it looks, maybe the way it's attractive, yeah, aesthetics. So it's about creating seamless, intuitive experience that meets user need. So how can you meet user needs? You need to do research. That's how you get to know what they want. So user-centered thinking is a design philosophy that focuses on how real users interact with your product, because you are designing for for your users. You're not designing for yourself. So you want your users to be able to interact, to be able to click on this and they are able to do it. You want them to be easy. You want the product to be, when they click on this, they get to where they are going to on time. So ensuring the interface is usable, accessible, and efficient. By adopting the user-centered thinking, designers bridge the gap between users and digital interface. So with able to have when your users are able to access your interface, they are able to use it. It is easy for them, it is convenient for them, it is not frustrating. So making interaction smooth, because when they are able to do all these things, it will be easy for them, it is smooth, and they also like it. It will be effective because what they want, they're able to see it. It will, they want to come back, because sometimes they like that, they love, they want to come back and check again. So that's just the introductory part. Then yeah, so this is just what it is there. um Personalization, empathy, and the likes, just to explain what is there, what I've already explained, and the likes. So, and more things to will be coming up. So, I don't want to waste more time on that. So, why user-centered thinking matters? Why does it matter? A well-designed interface improves engagement. If your design is okay, it will improve your engagement. People will be able to people will be able to come to your interface, use it. Also to reduce frustration because they are able to make your interface more easy for them and by not making them frustrated because um all those things. And also it's long time success. They'll be able to come back. They can okay this they can even make they can tell the other users that okay this you can come to this just like making awareness about the app that or about the website that okay you can also use this website and like telling them. So it's a long-term success for you because other people too are able to use it. So here's why it matters: better usability. Users can complete when user can complete a particular, maybe they want to take an action, they can do it easily. It is not frustrating, it is not confusing. So better usability. Then another one is improved user satisfaction. Please, can you still hear me? Because I used to have network at times. Can anybody still hear me, please?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you. So another one is improved user satisfaction. When all these things, maybe they are able to navigate truly, there's not any frustration. Um, it's to make them to be satisfied. Like well, we are able to use this product, reduce frustration and enhance overall experience. Everything was smooth. So with that, because one thing is you don't want your design or your product to just be fine alone. You want your product to satisfy your user need. Understand? So another thing is higher engagement and retention. Users stay longer and return more frequently. So that's like now, for example, a user that just come to your maybe your website and check it and we're able to get something that the person he or she want to get on time. When you need any other thing else, he will still return back and be like, okay, with that, the person can also bring in more people to um by to engage on your product too. So that way users stay longer. And again, when they are able to get what they want, maybe the way the interface is okay, it's fine. One thing that attracts users most is user when your design is fine. That's the first thing that will make them stay a bit. So when they now start playing around it and they see that it's okay, that's when they'll now make them stay longer. So yeah, accessibility for all. We'll be talking about accessibility. Don't design for a particular people alone. Design for everyone. Let everyone to be able to use it. And there are different things that you can use for accessibility. You can use for color contrast. When you have like this, my background now. My background is the blue color, deep one, and I have a white hair. So there's more contrast there. There's nobody that will say he or she cannot see what's on this slide here. So I was able to make everyone to be able to see it, to use it also. So ensures inclusivity for users with disability. All users, all maybe disabled and able people are able to use a product one way or the other. Is that you are using color contrast, or maybe you are using alt text, maybe you are using screener record, all these things, or maybe you are using the key navigations, let them, or maybe you are using the features of when the mic, that one's more common too. Stronger brand loyalty. A seamless experience builds trust and credibility. Your users are able to get what they want. You've already passed something to them, trust. And also brand loyalty is when um your interface is not frustrating. Sometimes when we mention frustrating, it's not only maybe when you're able to click. Sometimes maybe the way you use your color, maybe the color that you use, we have different colors. They don't know the ones that it is in one place they're seeing another thing else, another place that's so that way too, it's maybe that's what's one of the things that cause a bad interface too. When you're not trying to put in using design principles in your work. Maybe everything is too clustered together that way. So I'm just talking about this brand loyalty that is there. So with that, if they are able to give them what you want, maybe in your designs, in your products, they were able to see everything that talk about your brand. You very pass a trust to them that they know that this person, they are reliable, they can be trusted, and when I need anything, they can come back. So just like some of us that are in immigrant community, and you see how people are coming back to ask questions, because and don't forget that we also have this immigrant website too. It is there, it is not frustrating. They're able to come back to ask questions, even though in the community. That's to show trust there, because already giving them that thing to show them that we can come and trust us, and these are still saying that we can trust you. So yeah, and so my network that is not really looking very fast. Okay, so this is just what was network. It's just everything I've already explained. Some of this is just some to show what it is, what we are talking about, and you know I can't mention everything there. So more of it is this. Then the key principles of user-centered thinking. So one of it is empathy. Empathy for user. This is where you're putting your user in mind, where you want to understand your users. And for you to understand your user, there is some things that you need to do. You need to conduct user research. That's what I mentioned, the word research, but I don't want to talk much about that research at that time. So now, for you to do a research, there are different ways you can do research. You can do interview one-on-one. You can send survey out. You can do usability testing. Usability testing comes in maybe when after the product has been you've already prototype it, and what you need is you need your users to test it. That is usability testing. So with that, you're able to understand your users. You do not just do your product on your own. There are some process, there are some things that you put in place before you can actually come with these features. Because when you do research, you're able to understand their problems and be able to know this problem so that it's able to solve their problem with the solution you'll be having of the features that you also be using in your product. So this is the first thing you need to do. You need to send out research, do survey and the likes. Identify user pain points. So with your research that you've done, you'll be able to understand their problem. So that's what I was also explaining. I'm mapping out user journey to identify areas of improvement. So this user journey is across all your products or your design. So at times, because it's the experience of all the process. So when you are able to get in touch with your users, be able to understand them, be able to know their problem, and be able to know what to fix for this, because you have the questions that you ask them, and that's how you're able to understand them. So the feedback they give you is what you will use. So that's for the empathy for users. Another one is so this is just to see their world, appreciate them as human, understand their feelings, communicate your understanding. So you're advertising with your user. Another thing is intuitive navigation. A well-structured interface ensures users don't have to think too hard about the next action. So you have everything is in order, everything is going smoothly. Users using a clear information hierarchy. So this is something in design. We have heading, we have subheading, we have labels. Heading now is the first thing. It's that one needs to be very big, and that is where hierarchy comes in. It needs to be very big, bold, and your subheading should be so. Let's say the font size of heading is like 50. Your subheading should be like like 32. That way, they're able to know, okay, this is the most important. And where this heading needs to be very big is maybe you are designing for a website, is the hero section. That's where the heading needs to be very big, and others will also follow in terms of that size, the size, heading, subheading, body text, like that. It's going like that to show the hierarchy, to show the one that is most important out of it. Hierarchy just to show that the one that is important in terms of order. Another is maybe if one size is 50, the other one is 32, the other one is 24, that way. Another thing is providing consistent navigation pattern. So, and this is where consistency comes in also. You have a particular button that you are using, you need to stick with that. Your call to action, needs to be something that they will understand, not to maybe you are giving them two this thing to understand. Maybe you want to say buy now, you give them that buy now straight up instead of adding too much content to it. The same thing you want to say is still buying now, but because of like too much content, you are putting more content to it. That is not easy for them. So it has to be easy for them to understand that this is what this button means. This is what this menu, this is what it means. It has to be easy for them, and the pattern needs to be consistent across all the pages. So another one is following 3-click rules that says that users should reach their desired content in the 3-click or fewer. So if you want them to take an action, it should be in the place that they will be able to see it online, maybe in the road section, start now, sign up here, this and this. It's easy for them. So not like they have to go to another page before they can get the action they want. So that's one thing that we need to put. That way you are able to make your products more easily navigating. They can get to where they want to get to on time. So, and the other one is this. Can you still hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Can you
Yes, we
hear
can
me,
hear you.
please?
Yes, we can hear you.
All right. So thank you. So I want to interface to just explain what I've already discussed before. So you see that this design now, this is a hero section, and we have this button here. This button is the same shape with this button. That's consistency. So it's not like I'm having another button and there's another button here. Is there's no consistency, or maybe there's another button here and another page. There's another style of the button here. What I mean is this: the way this button is round, it is. So you can make. Sometimes you may want to use your button to be sharp, like this. The hair should be sharp, not curve. Fine, but you need to stick with a particular style. That's consistency. And also, you see this heading now. Talk about the button, like the heading, then followed by the body text. So you see the way the font size is different from the body text to show hierarchy. So that is what we are talking about. You see the way this design is, it's make it look neat and easy. People can want to stay longer with this particular hero section alone, because what they want, they can get to where they want, get started easily, and they click on it and they get to where they want to get to. So another one is consistency. So now I'll be explaining, I've already talked about consistency one, then I'll also be explaining what consistency is, also how we can also use consistency in our design. So consistency in typography, color, and icons for clarity is more than that. So like I think the same image is also there too. So we can also use consistency in terms of UI components, visible components, that's button, forms, model. So stick with what you have. That just mean of consistency. Don't come to another place and use another thing else. That's not consistency again. To avoid confusion. So when you stick it with one pattern, that's all. With one color, that's all. So, and also familiar design pattern to reduce connective load. So, and the same design too, yes. You see that here now we have the same color, everything is the same, nothing is different. There's consistency across everything. Just not just the hero section. You see that even though in this image here, this write up on it here, they still maintain their color. So that we can see what we have here and the same thing here. So to show you that they are making use of the same color, not like they are bringing another thing else, another color. So even though we have two colors to use, we should know that your design is for two colors. I mean that maybe you have another color apart from black and white. So you should know two in your design. So how can we know that? Maybe you have a secondary color that have that color. Maybe the stroke is another color. So we know that that's fine. We have another color apart from this color. So it has to be the same thing across everything. Your font, that's typography, should be the same. If you're using two fonts in your design, you should maintain that font. Don't, because maybe another place and you use another font, and that is why there is style guide to show consistency. Your component to let it show, let it be across everything that you are using. That's consistency. So another thing is accessibility and inclusivity. Great design works for everyone. So provide alt text for images, using high contrast color for readability. I already explained that too. Designing for keyboard navigation. So your keyboard navigation is all this arrow on your keyboard that if I click on the next, to go there that way. Avoiding flashing element that could trigger texture. So this is one thing that we need to have. If discussing accessibility, and this is also one of things that for user-centered design thinking, as a user, we need to put our users in mind. And if we are putting users in mind, accessibility is one of the things that you need to put in place. So yeah, so this is just the accessibility icons. You know of times, and so these are just the icons. If you see this kind of this icon is in all phones, so it can read. Maybe you click on it and it will read. If you just want, if you don't want to, you can let it read. That's your phone. I'm talking about. If you check your settings, you see it there, and you can play to be active, so you can use it. This mic is most constant and everything. So for all disability people is there, contrast, color blindness is there. So this is just the icons of it for accessibility and features too, because the mic is just one of the features that we use. So this is feedback and iteration. So as for you to maintain user-centered, you need to get feedback because you want to improve on your designs. Don't forget, in the first place, you did research, you were able to get the problem that your users are facing. Fine, then this stage you've already designed something, but because of you still don't want to, you still want to understand them, like you still want to put them in mind, like hope we are doing what you've asked us to do. Let me just use that way. So that's why you need to also reach out to them. That's where this what I mentioned the other time, I said usability testing. So you want to get more feedback concerning designs that you've done. So that you can improve on your design, on the product. So constant improvement should be based on user feedback and analysis. So another way you can also get feedback is doing A/B testing. A/B testing is something like maybe A or B. It maps too. And also you can also get feedback by doing usability testing too. So your users they'll test your product and see maybe, okay, tell you things that you need to correct, things that you need to improve on the product. Another one is micro interaction, visual clues for errors. Like now, maybe in a input feed, if your user did not put in something, yeah, there should be an error indicating this, that you've not done this, and let it clearly. Not like you write something that is not clear to them. Let them understand what they need to do to make that, to stop that mistake, or to clear the error. Another thing is, when you have success message, they should show something. Is one of all this micro interaction too, that maybe you are able to, maybe now, maybe let's use, you want to purchase something and you're able to purchase it. The final thing to show you success message, that you've done this, or you've delivered this, or this and that, or this thing has been approved, the success message. Another thing is interactive prototyping and testing before final implementation. We need to do more testing on our prototype, so that before we start implementing, so that not be like when your developers are now implement, and they will now be saying different things there. So you need to be patient to check, to test it, to so that designers that is working on it is also iterate to improve on that product. So this, and with that, because this last thing, maybe you are working with a team or with a client, and there has been some feedbacks. That feedback that I'll be able to use to iterate on that prototype that you've done. Okay, so this is just A/B testing, just to show you that this is a design, but another design, same thing but with different ways. So you want to ask, you most time we see this often on social handles where people will drop it and say A or B, give me feedback. So they'll give you feedback, they'll choose one that is okay with them, and they'll also drop, sometimes they may drop why they choose it. So this is what A/B testing is. So bridging the users and interface, the process now, I talk about user-centered. So when user research, I mean, when you do user research, you'll be able to gather insight through survey, interviews, and don't forget that I mentioned all those things: survey, interview, observe, and the like. So with that, you're able to gather insight data to be able to use to get all these solutions that you'll be able to use to solve that problem. So you do wireframe after ready. When you have your data ready, do your wireframe and prototype, you sketch interface ideas and test them with real users. So all these things are what I've already explained, but in nutshell, just to explain better again. Wireframe, we all know what wireframe is: sketching, there's doing iFile, all these things, and also doing prototyping, connecting this and together, so that when your user starts testing it, even though your user can test your prototype before you even implement, so they can test and tell you, give you feedback on that. Then you can also do a micro interaction, visual clues, use animation, transition to guide users. So, and you can use animation just like the one I explained, maybe in terms of errors, maybe signs of success, that way. Or maybe there are some things that, okay, we do this and that. So all these things, animations, something that's not, that will only, that also make your design more appealing to, you can add that micro interaction to your designs too. Personalization, adapt content based on user preference. So you know that your user, there's something that they want, and that is why one thing is, you need to understand, you need to know your target audience, so that you know the message that you want to give them. If you don't understand your, and that is why there's research, because if you are able to do your research at that time, you'll be able to understand who your target audience is. So with that, you're able to know the kind of content, the kind of things to give with that. And also error prevention and recovery. Design clear error message and easy undo option. So error message, we talk about, you know what error message is. Like when there is error, there should be something that indicating it, maybe with the red color stuff, to show that this is error message. And maybe your input foot, let it show a message telling you that you've not filled this thing, you need to add this thing, you need to do this thing, and it will be clear enough so that they can understand what you want them to do. So, and that is error prevention and recovery. So the process behind user-centered, what I've just explained is this: research, collect and analyze data, ensure all requirements are collected, design the product, um, test the product with real users, monitor the users and product. So after you've launched your design, don't just leave, still check who is engaging, how are they engaging on my products, what are they getting, are they staying longer, monitor it, see how the users are interacting with your product. So that is the process behind user center. And the reward, we use I use Google search on home page. Google home page is perfect example of user centered. Simple, and there's no distraction. You know what to do. User instantly know what to do. High contrast readability. You can read it. You know what to do. Accessible and the fast, effective. Result load. When you drop something, so this is just the um illustration here. This is the Google. When you type something there, it's get you able to get it on time, even though when there is maybe network, you see something that will pop up and tell you, so maybe you still want to wait, you will know. So these are the things that make it easy for users when they're not waiting too much on your website to get some particular things. So in conclusion, user-centered isn't just a design principle, it is a mindset. By bridging users and interface through research, usability, accessibility, and feedback. So designer can create products that not only look good but work effortlessly. So when your product is working, yes, it will be your user will also be satisfied with it and it's not confusing. So work effortlessly for users. So this is where I will be stopping. Thank you for listening. Any questions?
Yeah, okay, so I guess the silence means you do not have questions. Thank you, Sophia. I have a question myself. My question is the wireframing. We said we all know what wireframing is. I do not know what wireframing is.
You don't
So
know.
can you throw more light on wireframing?
Okay. I'm upstairs to show you the way my network is too. I would love to show you what it is. Let me see first. Let me
All right, maybe while you're trying to
because
do that, Somtochukwu has a question.
let me answer your own question first. So I know maybe you want to ask question too. It will be easy
Okay.
for me to do one by one.
Okay.
Okay. So I want to show you what wireframe is. I think I've only not presented something around wireframe before. Okay, let me just mention wireframe. Wireframe is just like a sketch. Is either you sketch it out first in a paper or you use your Figma interface. So we have three types of wireframe. We have we have the I file. So the low file is the one that when you design, you just use only box, no test. That's the low file. But okay, that's the low file. Let me explain that first. That's the low file. That's what low file really means. So now the second one, that's the mid file, is when you have box and text. But these two, low file and mid file, they are in what I call it. They are in gray color. they are gray color. You don't use your brand color. Even though you use black, it will still be the color that you want to use for your gray color. Understand? That is low file and mid file. Then high file is when you add your brand color to it. So this one now, it is more you can see, you are able to understand all those boxes will turn to normal thing. Icon, logo, you have it. That is the high file. We have three types of. So most times when people mention low file, you see people using the mid file because they don't really mention mid file like that. But what you see when they mention low file is you see the interface that has a box and a text, not the one that has only box alone. That's low file. But we use mid file in terms of low file. So this is just the examples of what low wireframe is. This one here, this is, let me see, this one here, let me see, maybe we have there. So if we have this here, this is, there are some where mid file that is more, now this is just this thing. Let me use this one. I think I use this one most times. And it's not because of anything, but because I could still have something to show off very well. I don't know, maybe you can see the screen. Can you see my screen?
Yes, I can.
Yeah, so this is where my cursor is. The first one here is the low file. You see that it's only box, no text, nothing. Even though this call to action that is there, just normal this thing. There is nothing there. That's low file. Then followed by this one. You see the difference between this and this. This one is the mid file now. There is text. We have button to show. We have text here. Unlike this one here, this is wireframe. This is what wireframe looks like. This is the mid file. But this is what we use most times in terms of low file. When you mention low file, you see this is what they will do. But what they are doing, what they are using is the mid file. So this one here, this last one here is the I file. So you see designs that we've done, maybe the apps that we're doing is I file I use as it is. So it's I. Yeah, so this is the I file. So this one has the brown color. This one has this one is compared to this one. We have the image. We have this one is there's no image there. So this one is in terms of gray, understand? But this one is the brown color. So you see that this space, we know that this one's supposed to be logo, but yet there is logo, the real logo is there. And this one showing that this is the button. But here we have our real button showing the brown color and everything that's supposed to be on it. So this is what this is wireframe. Just this one starts from sketch, then mid file, then low file, I file, like that. Victoria, do you understand it now? Victoria, do you understand what I just explained now?
Yes, I do. I do. Thank you. So I was saying,
So you
let's
see that
quickly
if I did not show you,
first.
you did not get it clearly. I'll just be explaining.
Yeah.
Okay, so you
Thank
can go ahead with your question.
What do you do if a client has 3 colors that they want to use for their website, but the colors clash?
Okay, 3 colors. The 3 colors should have its own meaning, like its own name. Like now, what I mean is there should be a primary color, there should be a secondary color, and there should be okay, this is the tertiary color. So you can't have the 3 colors to be the main primary color. So now
Yeah,
if you want,
if they said these are the 3 colors I want for my website, but the
so
3 colors don't go. What do you do?
You need to tell them, you need to communicate to them. That is where your work comes in. You need to let them know that sorry, sir or ma'am, this color does not combine very well, or something of that. And another thing is 3 colors is too much. 3 colors is too much. Don't forget that there's black and white. They are neutral colors. You don't, unless if your color, your primary color is black. There's like Uber now, it is black. We know that. But if it is not, that you still have colors that your brown color, and you are using three color, is too much. Two color is still okay. Like even though you have three colors, let me say this, everything should. Hello, Abubakar, can you hear me, please? Hello, Abubakar. Hello. Hello, Abubakar, can you hear me?